guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. It's not that, it's not that men ruin dating. Women have ruined themselves. And I mean that in all sense of the word. Women are making them so undesirable in so many ways that it's very easy for men to stay single. Yes, they might be a little lonely. Yes, they might want a girlfriend. But between asking a woman out is creepy and being too near a woman's creepy and looking at a woman is creepy. And then on top of that, the women that you actually end up meeting and talking to, you're like, oh my gosh, this is not a person I want to be with. Well, here's another great example of that. This woman's gone viral because she's slept with 300 people a year. And they say, well, haters say I'm disgusting. No, we're not haters. We're what you would call mankind. Mankind thinks you're disgusting. Not all mankind, I suppose, because there are guys that are still willing to sleep with her. Obviously, if she's getting 300 people in a year. But just normal people. And the thing is, like, I'll get to the main. Here's what she looks like. And, I almost titled this thumbnail, Unattractive Women Have It Easier Than Attractive Men. I almost said that. Because if you look at her, I mean, yes, her teeth are straight and white. She has 2 eyes. But if you look at the angle of her head and her very skinny neck and her very thin hair, she's really not what I would consider beautiful. I would say she's probably average at best. But then when she does the makeup and fluffs up the hair a little bit so it's not paper thin on the top of her head, fluffs up the hair a little bit, puts on the makeup and grows her hair longer to hide her very thin neck, now you're like, oh, okay, now she's not too bad looking. Well, here's the thing. She can sleep with 300 people in a year easily. Why? Because she puts it out there. And here's the thing. I have the podcast. I have the podcast where she talked about it. And let me tell you something, fellas. This woman is gross. And when I mean gross, I mean like beyond anything you could ever think gross. I took her 15-minute podcast and I narrowed it down to about 3 minutes. And she's been labeled as Australia's most sexually active woman. And she makes about $1,000 a day on her OnlyFools website. Can you imagine being like literally the grossest woman? And you'll see why I call her the grossest woman here shortly. Being the grossest for like $350,000 a year. And that's it. Here's the podcast. I'm going to play a little bit of this here so you can just see kind of what this type of woman is. Men will use her like a live action doll is what they're basically. They're like, this is a doll that I can also take to dinner and have interesting conversation with. And then I'll just take her home and relieve myself, basically, and then head out. And she's like, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Annie.
I'm good, thank you.
You look like a normal person.
I am a normal person.
She is a normal person, Kyle.
But,
How would you describe yourself when it comes to, being sexual? And because you own it on your socials, right?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like I'm very sexually open. I'm open to, I'm down to try anything, really.
Anything?
Yeah, most things.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how old are you?
Yeah.
I'm 26.
So you're 26. And when did this start? Like, when did you decide to really embrace the fact that you want to go out there and sleep with anyone that you want to and not feel like you should be shamed about that?
I feel like a year ago was when I made that decision to just be open and enjoy my life.
So, did you have a boyfriend? Have you had the normal boyfriend-girlfriend bullshit relationship? You had that?
Yeah, I had a boyfriend, yeah.
Did you like that or did that end bad?
No, yeah, it ended badly, but I liked it.
What happened? What happened for the relationship to end?
Oh, it was just very toxic.
Oh, just weren't getting on and,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right, let me pause it here for a second. She is 26 years old. So at 25 years old, she had a boyfriend. And she said that it was bad. Okay, might have been dating a bad guy. But instead of breaking up with said bad guy and then saying, I'm going to find a good guy today, a guy that will actually value me for more than just my looks and or my body and or the bedroom, instead of doing that, she went all in on, I'm going to let my freak flag fly and I'm going to make money off of it.
And when did you think, screw this, I'm going to have sex with whoever I want? Because that's the powerful message here, right?
Powerful. It's not powerful for a woman to sleep with whoever she wants. It's powerful for a man to get a lot of women to sleep with him because he needs to show himself as high value. She doesn't have to do anything except get undressed and say, let's go. That's not powerful. That's easy.
Yeah, I think it happened slowly. Like I sort of got on the dating apps and then was going on dates and I realized I don't really want a boyfriend at the moment and I just wanted to like explore my sexuality and sleep with different people.
So in that, let's say it's been like a year since you've really embraced that. How many people would you have slept with in that year?
Yeah, give us some numbers.
Probably 300.
Jesus.
In 1 year.
One year.
that.
How many that no
Now, notice she says probably 300, which could mean 400 or 500 or 250. We don't know because she doesn't even know. It has become such a non-thing to her that she doesn't even think about the numbers anymore. It's just, I feel like it. And the thing is, all she has to do is go on a date, fancy a guy, and even if he's gross so far as his upkeep or his cleanliness, she will still attempt to do the deed.
how many
That's almost one a day.
Yeah, close to.
would that be the average or is there like a big lump sum in one session?
Oh, in a day, 5 in one day.
5 in one day. Now, I did look up this gal's information. I did look up her information. There are leaks online where you can see her content. I will say this. A, she's thin. She's had the bobs, the boobages. They are either silicone or saline. They have been increased. She has a very nice body, and she's very DTF, if you know what I'm saying. And she also doesn't, in all these videos and all the clips of her online, she does not use any protection. So, my friends, I am 100% sure that she has either has, or will have, again, the creepy crawlies that dudes are catching when being with her. And a lot of guys will look at a woman that looks like this, who's attractive. She dresses very nice. She doesn't look like the drunk barfly that sleeps with everybody. And they'll say, I'm good. Like, I don't need to worry about, protecting myself. They don't. And then they end up catching the gift that keeps on giving, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
And how do you come across those guys?
Can you use maybe some different terminology?
How would you see those guys? Like, where do you meet them? How do you go about sleeping with 5 in a day?
So, and I have my regulars, I call them on my TikTok.
What do you mean?
They're the guys that I just see regularly. I probably have like 8 of them that I'll have over sort of every.
So there's 8 guys that she sees on a regular basis. 8 guys on her TikTok stream that will come and just revolving door sleep with her. So she has eight guys on rotation. But remember, the pickup guys are the gross ones. The pickup, those guys take advantage and use women. What about her? I don't hear any. See, she's stunning and brave. But if a guy was doing the same thing, they would be like, what are you promising these women? What are you telling these women that you'll do for them that they just do this? Like, you must be manipulating them somehow. But when a woman does it, it's like, hey, you embrace your girl power. You go, girl.
Every week.
Oh, you've got 8 on rotation that you pump on camera.
Yeah.
And can I ask, do you, because you've got this, like a guy's attitude, as they would say, where you don't want any strings attached and you're happy like to just leave after sex, do you feel that a lot of the times the guys then want something more from you?
100%. That happens more times than not.
Well, they want you to be their special girlfriend.
Before, when you were less inclined to be this way, you guys would probably become more detached to you, but now you find the roles reversed because
100%.
of your attitude changing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It's so interesting.
Isn't it?
So remember, everybody, men are the pigs. Men are the players that just want to sleep with women. But these guys that are sleeping with her and taking her out and dating her, they would like a relationship. They're fine with a relationship. Now, maybe they don't know what she does, but maybe they do. And you know something? Guys are saying, hey, you know what? She's a freak in the sheets. She's smoking hot, in their mind. Yeah, she's been out there crazy and all that, but I wouldn't mind settling down for that. Now, you can call them simps, you can call them stupid, but the guys have said that they would be willing to date her. It's her that says no. So who's the one that's the player? Who's the one that's the quote-unquote pig that just wants to sleep with everybody? The guys that say, I would date you, or the woman that says, no, thank you. I don't want to give up my rotation of 8 men on the regular and hundreds of strangers that I'm enjoying at 26 years old. To me, it sounds like she's the player, she's the quote-unquote pig, and not the guys.
Yeah, it really
So
is.
the more you're not interested in a long-term relationship, the more the guy wants that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't that
They always
odd?
want what they can't
That's
have.
odd behaviour.
Yeah, that's so true, isn't it?
How many guys have you had sex with at once in your whole life? Has there been like a group sex thing or?
As in, just had sex with them one time.
Yeah,
No,
all at once.
Like how many were involved in one session?
Only me and 2 others. The sex, the better.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the
100%.
best sex that you've had?
Okay, now before she gets into this, we're going to talk about the best time she's had in a bedroom. Now, this is why we say when women have lots of partners and lots of relationships, they're too damaged for you to make happy. This is why. Because there was one guy that was good at this, and one guy that was good at this, and one guy that was good at this, and one guy that was rich, and one guy that was funny, and she wants all of that in one package. I want you to listen to her describe the guy that was the best in the bedroom, and let me know if you think you could hang in there. All right, I had to go grab this because I'm in the workshop here. 10 inches and girthy. That right there, just the tape measure. Just the tape measure. And now I have my green screen on so you don't see quite as... That right there is what she expects you to be. Now, here's my hand, like bigger than you're talking like 10. 10. This is what she thinks is, and that from my finger here. That's what she thinks is great, and thick. And thick. Do you have a chance, fellas? Or is she always going to be thinking of the thickness, instead of you?
So good though.
He knew what he was doing, so he was really good with his hands as well.
He had the equipment and he knew how
and
to
he
work
knew what he was
Because
doing.
that's hard to find. Like, they have both.
You're going on the dates. You're on.
Okay, so she's been on 3. She slept with at least 300 dudes, and she says it's really hard to find both the skill to use it and the kielbasa sausage. That it's very hard to find. Do you think she's going to find a man that also has the money that she wants, also has the personality that she wants, and will want to also then marry her or date her or have children with her? Is she going to find this all in one package? No, not at all. And she is tall and slim. So she's probably in heels. She's probably close to 6 foot. So now she needs, wait for it, 6 foot tall, good looking. I mean, she's making $350 a year. So she's going to need him to make more than that. He's got to be in good shape, and he's got to be hung like a python. 0 guys will fall into this.
Tinder or whatever.
Yeah.
You're at a, I don't know, like a Max. What is that chocolate joint?
Max
Brenner.
Max
Yeah.
Brenner, and you
Yeah.
think, you know what?
Oh, okay. This is the part where she's describing the guy not being clean, but her still trying to go through with the action anyway. She is so dirty and gross. Okay. So she tries to do the Australian kiss with a dude who had not done any hygiene for probably a few days, I'm guessing, if she describes it as mold and smelly. And she didn't refuse then. She tried to go through with it anyway, the old Australian kiss, which means she put this in her mouth. Now, I know that she obviously brushed her teeth afterwards before she was with the next dude, but it's the point. It's the point that you would see a girl like this and be like, wow. Now, again, she's not everybody's type. But there are guys that are going to be like, I can't show all these pictures on YouTube. For you guys on Locals, you can see the pictures. You can see she's got a very nice, thin, slim build. She's tall. A lot. Now, some guys say, oh, I don't like him, thin. I like him with a little bit of the thickness. But there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of people that say, oh, she's got a very nice body. Okay. You would see her and be like, wow, I would love a girlfriend like that. She's beautiful and funny and interesting. She is the grossest pig, and she does gross things. And that's pretty much the end of the interview. I mean,
Can you have
and that's why I'm saying, how does a normal guy, quote unquote normal guy, stand a chance when you can't talk to them, you can't look at them? The only place you can meet him is on the dating apps, because if you meet him in person, you're creepy. And then guys will say, okay, well, I'm never going to get a girl that looks like this. I'm not going to get a girl that looks like that, but I'll get an average girl. I'll get a heavy set girl. I'll get somebody that's not I almost said convincingly, not conventionally beautiful. I'll just get an average or maybe a little bit overweight chick. John Cena did an interview on Howard Stern's show. John Cena is not a bad-looking dude. John Cena is worth, quite a bit of money. He does Hollywood movies. I think we could probably comfortably say he's worth, $10, $20 million. John Cena is tall. He's good-looking. He's muscular. I want you to listen to this interview about John Cena's taste in women.
Bang ugly chicks just because you feel
absolutely
bad? You do?
Absolutely.
So
Why?
you'll give a mercy.
You're a good-looking guy.
You throw a mercy
would you ever do a fat chick?
Absolutely. I believe it or not, there was an instance not too long ago where I hit the 280 mark.
280 pounds. That is a big girl. And John Cena slept with her. Are you John Cena? No, you're not. Do you think that girl now thinks she deserves and can bag and can get a John Cena? You bet she does. And so what chance do you have, Mr. Average Guy, or even pretty good looking guy with a good income and who's got in decent shape? You have no prayer with that 280-pound woman. Why? Because men like John Cena want her. And if men like John Cena could you just wait for a minute, please? Hey, could you just wait for a minute, please? If a man like John Cena wants her, why would she settle for you?
Really? You banged the chick. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Let me get this. International wrestling superstar John
Absolutely.
Cena took home a 200-pound chick.
She took me home. I didn't take her home.
Were you attracted to her?
Absolutely, and the experience was great.
She have
Actually, I'll let this last bit. Did she have a nice face?
Nice face?
She had a nice smile.
She didn't even have a nice face. She just had a nice smile. 280 pounds, not even a nice face, just a nice smile. How? If these top 5 and 10% guys will, again, just throw it in anything, whether it was a challenge, whether it was fun, whether it was a quiet night at the bar where you didn't have anything going on and this girl was flirting with you and he's like, bust a nut. That girl, because of John Cena, is ruined for every other man out there. Well, how many non-John Cenas, but how many good-looking guys or successful guys or guys that are packing 10 inches or whatever else? How many of those guys are, all the woman has to do is sample that one time, and she's done. So in the years of going out to the clubs and the bars and on the dating apps and everything else, how many good-looking or successful or athletic men, how many does it take for him to maybe be in a bad night or bored or doing it as a goof, or he just wants to get his rocks off and it's easier than using Rosie Palm and her 5 sisters. And he taps it. That girl's now ruined. Why? Because she's getting tons of validation from thirsty dudes on the internet, even if she's unattractive. Big girls that are 300, 400 pounds are getting on the cover of magazines and are being told they're big and beautiful and delicious at any size. And they're getting lots of attention. So now the average weight of women is probably 180, 190 pounds. And then these thirsty dudes will go out there and sleep with them. Women that are not desirable really at all, now are walking around the planet thinking they're God's gift to creation. And so between you not being okay to talk to them, or society shaming you for talking to them, and then not being on the dating apps and getting any luck on the dating apps, and then you've got guys like John Cena taking all of them home and folding them up like origami and turning their insides out, you're nothing to them. You're a bother. And there are women out there that don't feel that way, but where are they? They're not around. They're probably at home being quiet and shy and reserved and everything else. So yeah, you can find one. Good luck, though. If John Cena's going and turning them out, what are you going to do? So at a certain point, men, I really believe, I'm not saying that you won't meet a good woman someday. I'm not saying you won't. I'm not saying even necessarily that they'll lie about their body counts or anything. Because, I mean, statistically, if you look at it, you got a rough go ahead of you. I'm not saying any of it won't happen for you. But what I will say is and I've said this before, and I'm going to keep reminding you, get in the mindset that you're okay without a woman in your life. Or that you're going to go overseas, that you're going to do the Passport Brothers and you're going to find some woman in a small town in Thailand outside of Bangkok and Chiang Mai and the other big capitals. Find a gal in the small remote areas and that she looks at you like you're John Cena, even though you might be Frank, a 260-pound overweight, I don't know, white guy that makes $40,000 a year. Like, she will see you like John Cena. Those are who you're going to have to find, because it's just nuts. It's just crazy now. And it's women that are ruining the dating and calling everybody creeps and saying that that they shouldn't talk to them. And then the women are ruining themselves by sleeping with a bunch of men. And then, yes, you can go back here and say, John Cena is also a bad guy. Why is John Cena a bad guy? He should be sleeping with supermodels, not all the average women the rest of us want to try to get, and ruin it for the rest of us. Because now the rest of us don't even have a chance with that average girl. Yeah, there's lots to blame, but don't tell me dating's fine and we just need to make some adjustments, or men need to man up and no, forget it. Forget it. Get used to being happy alone. Find some hobbies, find some guy friends. I think that's the only way you're going to make it through this thing and be happy. There's just no other way. For those of you guys on YouTube, make sure to come over to Locals. I'm going to do a dating profile of the day. I don't do those on YouTube anymore, so come over to Locals. Being a member is free. You can see the content. Just hope you become a supporter at some point and give me a little love. I would appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.